Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV, bringing you another Manchester City video news update. And today we're going to be talking about Tosin Adarabioyo. After news came out yesterday that he's apparently going to be sold this summer, a whole host of Championship and Premier League clubs are interested in this young, exciting talent. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him to start with. I'm going to go for his name. Is Abdul Nazir Tosin Adarabioyo. Hope I get that right. Someone can correct me, obviously, if I'm wrong. Born in September 1977, he's 22 years old. He'll be 23 next week, I do believe. Now, he joined City at the age of 5. He came through the ranks. You know, he was, I think, a very quick developer. He was playing in the, let me remember, he was playing on the, I think he was playing in the under-18s when he was 16. Playing in the under 16s at 14, stuff like that. So he's always ahead of his age. He had his debut for City in the FA Cup against Chelsea back in 2016. I think he was 18 years old then, and he had his Champions League debut, I think the following season, still in 2016, against Steaua Bucharest. You know, I think it was a qualification round or a preliminary round. Now, having come through the ranks, he left City to go on loan to play for West Brom in the 2018-19 season. Quite understandable, because he was a young kid. He needed game time. He wasn't likely to get it at City when we had Otamendi, Centurion, Stone, Centurion, Laporte we just got, and we had obviously Vincent Kompany, so we had a lot of options there. And Tosin needed some game time. He needed to develop away from the club, which is fair enough. So he went to West Brom, a pretty decent season at West Brom, where he played 29 league games. They failed to get promotion. I think they cocked it up right at the end of the season. He came back to City, but the following season, last season, he went to Blackburn Rovers, who had a decent season again. He played 34 league games for them, but they didn't get promotion. Now, the concern to me is, and you could have seen this coming years ago. I mean, I said it probably 2 years ago when he went out on loan the first time. He's way down the pecking order, and anybody who goes out on loan does not come back to make it at City. You name me one player who's gone out on loan from Manchester City and come back and made it. Nobody. The only person who's remotely done anything about going away and coming back was Aaron Muric, and that's a red herring, because Aaron Muric he went out on loan to NEC Breda. He played one game, they won 3-0, and then Claudio Bravo got injured. Aaron Muric had to be recalled, and Breda actually went down that season, but he had to be recalled. That's the only way he got game time. And then last season he went off to Nottingham Forest on loan again. So I can't recall a player who's gone out from City on loan to somewhere else and has come back and made it. You can look through the list, you know, Brandon Barker, no. Patrick Roberts, no. Tosin Adarabioyo, no. There's nobody that I can think of that's gone out and come back and made it at City. So the writing was on the wall when he went away to play for West Brom on loan. And now you look at the pecking order, and I did something on Twitter yesterday and looked through the pecking order. You cannot argue about the positioning, but this is how I see it. Laporte, he's your number one. If we get Kalidou Koulibaly, he's your first choice pairing with Laporte, so that's number 1 and 2. You've got Nathan Ake, put him as number 3. John Stones is going to stick around, he's at number 4. You've got Garcia, if he sticks around. You've got Otamendi, if he sticks around. You've got even Fernandinho, Taylor Howard-Bellis. There's 8 players I've got before I've got to get to Tosin. 8 players. And last season, Pep played Rodri at centre-back ahead of Garcia and Otamendi, who were on the bench at Crystal Palace, I think. So where is Tosin? Now, let's say, you know, looks like Nicolas Otamendi will leave, and it looks like Eric Garcia may leave. So let's say we lose those 2. Tosin is still, at best, still behind Laporte, let's say Koulibaly, Nathan Ake, John Stones, at least those 4, and maybe even Taylor Howard-Bellis. You know, lots been said about Taylor Howard-Bellis, so that's the concern. He's still so far down the pecking order that what's his future? He's going to be 23 next week. Does he want to stick around? I think a lot of young players get to the point where they say, well, it's not going to happen for me, and they get made promises as well. to make them sign new contracts, longer contracts, which actually enable City to actually sell them for a decent amount of money. Look at Eric Garcia now. The situation with Eric Garcia, I think he was on a 4-year contract when he came. He's had 3 years of that contract. He's got 1 year left. Now Barcelona apparently trying to get him on the cheap, because with all your year left on your contract, it puts the selling club, in a weak negotiating position. Okay, he could see out the next year of his contract and go for nothing. He's worth, if he had a 3-year contract left, I think we'd be getting 30 million plus for him, maybe even 40 million. We could push for that, but he's got a year left. We're going to struggle. Barcelona want to pay 10 to 12 million euros. Absolute joke. City want to hold out for about 20. We'll see how that plays out. But that's the concern. Other defenders, other young kids will look at what's happened at City and say it's very difficult to break through. Very difficult. The only people who are breaking through, was Phil Foden and Garcia, and the only kids who are likely to hang around to try and make that breakthrough are City fans. If you're not a City fan, you've got less of a reason to stay. You've got less loyalty to stay. You see, as I said, with Eric Garcia, he could probably end up back at Barcelona. He's been here 3 years, but he's not got that loyalty built up. He's not got that ingrained loyalty like Phil Foden has, like Tommy Doyle has, like Tosin has, like Taylor Howard-Bellis will have, and like a few of the other kids coming through. They've got it. They're City fans. They'll stick it out just that little bit longer than the fans the players who are not City fans. And there are concerns for the kids. There has to be concerns, because there's rumours that kids have been misled, deceived, even lied to. You look at someone like Jason Denayer. He ended up signing a new contract at City, only to be given no game time, to be sent out on loan. Eventually sold to Lyon for, I looked on Wikipedia today because I didn't believe this number. I thought it was a little bit higher, for 6.5 million euros. It might have been a little bit higher, might have had some add-ons as well. But we're not getting even 10 million euros for this kid. And there's talk of Napoli being interested in him and paying Lyon 25 million euros for him. Was that a couple of years after we sold him? It does gall a little bit. Yes, we'll get, I think we've got 20%, we have a 20% selling clause. We'll get about 4.5 million euros for him, but it's not the same. A kid that's come through, not played much time at City, but has been sold off to somebody else, and they're going to make a huge amount of money on him. We didn't even give him a chance. That's what it feels like to us from the outside. Yes, we don't know how it works in the club. We don't know how these kids have trained and everything else, and we don't obviously have the same knowledge and experience and expertise as the manager and the coaches. But we can only say what we see. So the feeling is, for some of the kids like Denayer, maybe like Tosin, maybe we don't know what they were told, what they were promised, and others, and why they leave maybe in a huff or unhappy. We just don't know. Now, maybe a way around it, I've said this before, is maybe instead of giving them, if it's possible, don't give them a 4-year contract, give them a 5-year contract. If you really think they have potential, especially if they're coming in from overseas, give them a 5-year contract. And if they're as good as you think they are, within 2 or 3 years they'll be coming through, like Eric. He came through between years 2 and 3. Now, if he had a 5-year contract, he'd still have 2 years on his contract, and we wouldn't be getting a pittance for him if he wanted to leave to go back to Barcelona. Same with other players as well. We could have done the same, or extend their contracts within a couple of years. There must be a better way for City to maximise what we're getting out of the kids. But yeah, Tosin, I was speaking to a Blackburn fan yesterday, and he said he was their best centre back, and he was talking about the valuation, and he couldn't believe it, because he said their other centre back is, they're looking at selling him for over 10 million quid, and he said Tosin's better than him. Tosin's going to be 23 next week, so he's a young kid who's got 10, possibly 12 years ahead of him. He's at a decent level, and it is a concern, and I know people are saying that on social media. City fans are saying, why are we selling players so cheaply? That's for another video. I think I did a video about that yesterday. You can go and watch that if you want. But it is a concern, and Tosin, yeah, he's got. If we're honest about it, he's got no future at the club, to be honest, and he's really had no future at the club since he went out on loan. For the last 2 years, he's had no future. The fact that last summer we could have used him, he came back after a decent loan spell at West Brom, we didn't, and we promoted Eric Garcia. We let Taylor Howard-Bellis come through, and we said Tosin out on loan again. I mean, if that didn't tell you that he had no future, then nothing else did. I mean, he'd have had to do something quite remarkable last season to be in favour this season. And it just, for me, for the last 2 seasons, the only thing the two things the loans have done for him, obviously they've given him experience and helped him to develop, but they've also put him out there in the marketplace for when somebody wants to actually buy him. We'll get more than if we'd left him in our EDS. That's the way it is, guys. You know, Tosin Adarabioyo, he's been at City since he was 5. That's almost 18 years, and he's going to disappear by the looks of things this summer. Guys, if you're new to our YouTube channel, it'd be fantastic if you could support us simply by subscribing to the channel and hitting that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. See you around, Blues.